coaches. How are you all? It's super exciting to come to you to talk to you about Open House Week. I am Michelle Solander. I'm the Head of Program and Science, and here I've got Nicole, our Program Developer, and we are here to share with you in a little bit more detail what you received last week, which is your Open House Session Guide. Now, I just want to start off by saying we've done the heavy lifting for you, so you might have opened it and seen, wow, 6 pages. That seems like a lot, but I want to assure you through this video that everything in here is what you already know, and we've given you as many tools as we can to help you in your preparation, and we're literally going to walk through each of those with you now. So if we get started looking from the top of the guide, you've got some simple instructions at the top here. This is clearly different to your typical workshop, and we are looking for this session to run for about 30 minutes. And so some of the pieces of information in here, you can see that there's this blue box on the side of every piece of the session guide, which explains to you how long we think that this part should last, and then what is the objective. Now please take time to read the objective. Nicole's been very artful in articulating simply what we're trying to do here, and that's really important as you find your own words to bring to life. What are the key points? And we've given you those key points, which we'll come back to in detail, but just overall, that's the approach. You've got the objective, the key points at the top of every section of the guide, and then at the bottom we've given you an example script of how those points could flow together in a way that you could bring it to life. So I'm actually going to now hand over to Nicole, who's going to walk you through each of the different sections of the session guide.
Yeah, so we start off with the introduction. So that's a brief intro into Open House WW and what we're doing today. And then the second section is a WW overview. So, particularly that shift from weight loss and to wellness, and how we're incorporating that together. So in particular, I just want to point out one of the points there, where are we? In that we're looking at WW Freestyle is our most livable program ever. It focuses on 3 pillars: food, move, and mindset. So making sure that we're really introducing the program name to visitors and new members. Then we look at the food pillar. So in particular here, I just want to call out that this is where you'll integrate the Kickstart guide. So you haven't received this yet, but you will be receiving it soon.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting piece of work that we've been working on. It's actually 2 booklets, so Kickstart 1, week 1, and week 2. So you'll get a lot more communications around how you need to hand this out in time, but basically we want you to have a flick through this with members and visitors in the session, show them that it's a full week meal plan to get them off to a great start, and it also incorporates a shopping list at the end as well, so that they know what they need to buy and they're ready to go for that first week of success.
And why did we create that, Nick?
So that we wanted to
because everyone asks us, what should I eat, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so this is really, for those people that are wanting to accelerate their progress, this is just a really simple, easy way to get them going.
I think the key thing as well, we know that meal plans are always, a #1 thing that are downloaded and something that people are asking for. So we're really trying to provide that for our members. So moving on from food, then we flow into digital tools and healthy kitchen tools. So this is where you'll just speak to some of the key aspects, not everything, because we know that time, is something that's going to be a challenge to get through everything. So just really what we want to emphasize is that just stick to the key points of what we've put in there, rather than trying to explain everything, because we know that in each section we could go into detail about each point for a whole workshop session really, but we're just trying to touch on the highlight and the key points here.
Yeah,
throughout.
So just to reiterate that, you might look at this and go, wow, that's a lot of stuff, but we're really asking you to skim the surface of everything. So we're just allowing all of our different members and as well as visitors to understand what are all the parts to membership And then when they want to learn more about specific things, whether it's more about food, more about activity, more about mindset, more about community, we'll do that at a different day. This isn't the day for that. This is about all of the messages we've given you in that high level.
Yeah. So after the tools, then we flow on to the second pillar, so activity or movement. And what we really want you to highlight here is our new partnership with Active. So we want to focus on all of the new exciting things that we've brought to the program. And so definitely Active and how the workouts are integrated into the app and are for anyone of all levels is something that we really want you to mention to everyone. Then we talk about our third pillar, so mindset, and in particular here we're then mentioning the partnership with Headspace. So currently at the moment, our members, only 1 in 5 members actually use Headspace. So this might seem like to you that it's a bit repetitive of what we've done before, but actually our current members might not know that it even exists. So
80% of them are not using it, and they've got it there for free. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that it's there and a great tool to help them with their mindfulness.
Yeah, and depending on time, if you've got time as well, we've provided a short snippet, 1 minute and 15 seconds that you could potentially show members and visitors to let them get an idea of what it actually involves in the app as well. So moving on from mindset, then we speak about community, which is sort of our fourth pillar or focus of the program. And in particular here we mentioned Connect groups. So that's the other new component that we want you to mention, because we know that there's lots of inspiration and ideas on Connect, and now with this new group feature you can join groups with people who have the same interests or hobbies, or get ideas through meal planning, foodies, and this is where you can bring to life some examples of groups that you follow or that sort of thing as well, to kind of really land that message.
So what you've been hearing from Nicole as we walk through the guide is all the things you heard from us at seminar already. So again, no surprises for you. This is just about packaging everything up in a really simple way and providing that holistic story. And of course, we want to talk about all the elements of our program, but then also really inspire them with our member story, which is the next section.
Exactly. So that member interview. So once you've chosen a member from your workshop or studio, what we want you to have a look at the questions that we've provided there as a guide. You don't have to ask all of them, because we know that there's only 7 minutes there. And we know that this time will probably go quite quickly, because you're really intrigued with what they want to say. And if you find that you need to cut that interview short, what we suggest doing is actually posting what you don't cover in your Facebook groups, so that you can
continue to inspire and continue to have the conversation, even if you don't have enough space within Open House Week to actually share everything you'd like to share.
Yeah. And then the last piece is just to close the meeting. So we really want to end this on a high, tease out, next week, and that, members come back next week to get your week 2 of the Kickstart guide.
So we really want to make sure that people leave really inspired and, of course, wanting to come back again. And that's why you've got the second week of the Kickstart to really, as Nick says, tease them back, because we've got that great help for them if they are there.
Yeah. One other thing that we put together, because we know 6 pages, it's a lot to kind of try and remember, but we encourage you to really try and practice from now until open house. Have a run through, time yourself. Some things that we do when we're preparing for seminar and things like that is to present in front of a mirror or even film ourselves like this, so that you get an idea of how you're coming across and if you're really landing all of those key points. What we've actually created as well is the key points in an iPad version, so that you've got that support tool there, so that it's not so much that you're reading off the slide, but when you're asking a question to members, in that discussion, you can check back on your iPad, tick off that you've said all the points before you move on to that next section. So you can kind of refer to it and then put it away, and kind of within that facilitation, it can be a really helpful tool for you.
So having that on your iPad, within the guide we've got those questions that we suggested for members in bold, so they're an easy cue for you to think, okay, now I'm going to allow the discussion to happen. I'm quickly going to check in, did I land? It's a bit similar like you watched me ticking off my list as we go through, what is it? Because it can be challenging in the moment to kind of get yourself back on track. So hopefully you find that helpful. And so that's an overview of the guide. The script at the bottom of each section is our idea of how it can all come together. Please use that as inspiration. There's no expectation that anyone's meant to read this, but it is a way, and please build your own way to create engagement from that. So
the key is to have fun, enjoy the day. You know, open house is going to be a really, really exciting time. If you've got any questions for us, you can add them in comments below this video and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, so we're really focused on the session guide. We can answer any questions that you have around how we bring the program to life. Anything about the more operational side, you'll get your version 2 of your playbook tomorrow. So look out for that, and yeah, have a great time. Look forward to hearing how it goes. Cheers.